Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. Today we're going to take a look at the CRKT Ripple, and this is the aluminum handle version, so this is going to be the more affordable version. And to be honest, this is one of those knives where my initial impressions kind of deceived me. Initially, I wasn't really all that big of a fan of the knife. I wasn't really going to even buy one or check it out, just because it kind of looks kind of space age or almost alien. I wasn't really a big fan of the looks of the blade, and I don't know, it just didn't seem like it was worth my time. But like you, I'm subscribed to several channels on YouTube. You know, The Late Boy Scout, Nothing Fancy, just to name a few. And consistently, this thing was just getting awesome reviews, and people were just raving about it. And so it was affordable enough. I said, okay, you know what, I'll check it out, see if I like it. And it changed my mind. I am a huge fan of this CRKT Ripple. So it's obviously just going to be a great little everyday carry knife. It's not a tactical knife or anything like that. You got a 2.7 inch long blade on here. This is the smaller version. There's a little bit bigger one. This is my favorite version. It's just super small, super light, just awesome blade, and just an awesome blade. So as you look at this, it is a Aluminium design. It is hollow ground. And so it slices really well. You've got a great relief edge on there, a great final bevel on that blade, and very easy to sharpen. Just slices really well. It is an 8CR 14 MOV steel, so Chinese steel. I'm happy with it. It cuts nicely, holds an edge, easy to sharpen. Like a lot of these steels, it will rust if you're in a really humid environment. But for me, not too big of a deal. And just keep my blade clean, keep it dry, and I haven't had any issues whatsoever. Now, as we look at the blade shape a little bit more, you will notice they did kind of a nice swedge up there on top. You have a really nice point on here. It's nice and fine, but it's somewhat reinforced. So overall, the blade is really nice. There's no recurve or anything in there. Some of the Aluminium designs and just designs in general out there will have kind of a recurve thing going on. I'm not a big fan of that. It's just kind of hard for me to sharpen. This is pretty much a perfect blade shape. I really like the blade shape on here. Now, as we come back a little bit more, you will notice it is a liner lock, and it's somewhat of a thin liner at that. I haven't had any issues with it, and as just a very small, little, lightweight, everyday carry knife, I think it's totally adequate. I mean, we used Swiss Army knives for a long time that were, had no lock whatsoever. So I think as long as you're not, putting a ton of stress on this thing, and being realistic with this little tiny, pocket knife, I think you'll be just fine. And that is a hardened steel liner. If you ever tried to drill through hardened steel, trust me, it's tough stuff. So I don't think you're going to have any issues whatsoever with this. Now, it is, probably going to be right-handed only. Lefties aren't going to be so happy with that liner lock. Now, as we look at the opening mechanism on here, it's a flipper design. And, I like flippers just fine. And this is a really nice flipper because they actually have a ball bearing system in your pivot point here. So it's an incredibly smooth knife. Just with just with finger tension alone, I don't have to flick it with my wrist or anything. Just finger tension, that blade just rockets out of there. And to be honest, I prefer this even over like assisted opening knives. It's just simple, just easy to do, and just very fast open. I really like it. Now you do have some jimping up here on top, and it's kind of decent. It's not as good as Spyderco or some of the people that really do good jimping, but it's definitely better than nothing. Now you come here in the finger choil, they also put some jimping in here, and this is actually pretty decent. So this lower jimping is fine. The top's kind of lame, but you get a good grip on here. That finger choil, you can really kind of pinch and really lock in and get a good grip on this. Now you do have an adjustable pivot point, as you can tell. And you also have total, mini torque spit construction. You do have kind of a partial flow-through design on here when you're looking at the handles. So you can blow some stuff, dirt or whatever, out the back there. And it should be pretty simple to clean. These are aluminum handles, so they're very lightweight, and they feel good in the hand. They did a good job of getting some traction on there. So they have these ridges on there, gives you a nice traction. A lot of aluminum handles are just really slick. These ones aren't really that way. They did a good job of getting some traction on there. And obviously your liner lock is inset into that aluminum handle. Now, just one thing to mention more about the handles is all this wear you see on there actually comes from the factory that way. It's kind of their pocket worn look. It's interesting, you know, I don't really have strong feelings towards it either way. But you know, that's not wear that I put on it. That's actually from the factory. Now, as we look at the pocket clip on here, that's kind of one of the downsides of the knife. And it is tip down only, which I'm not really a big fan of. I prefer tip up. But, you know, that's all they gave you. And really, it's just stuck where they put it. You can't put it anywhere else. So this really is a right-handed only knife. But, you know, that being said, it does retain in the pocket tightly. I haven't really felt like I was going to lose the knife. You have a little bit that sticks up out of the pocket. Not too much. The front end here, as you can tell, that clip doesn't really loop up very much. So it's pretty hard to get this over like really thick seams, like, you know, on your pocket or things. So if you're trying to clip this to thick material, you may kind of have to like help that clip over the material a little bit. So clip's a little bit of a downside, but it is functional, and it hasn't ruined the knife for me. I still carry the knife, and I still like it a lot. Also, you do have a lanyard hole on there, if you wanted to put a lanyard on there. Probably one of my favorite aspects of the Ripple is just how slim it is, how small and light it is. We'll just compare it to a Spyderco Delica here real fast. And the Delica is a relatively small knife, but much narrower. You can tell the spider hole and everything really sticks out a lot more. When we look at thickness, it's even a little bit thinner than the Delica, which is pretty impressive. The Delica is a very thin knife. And it's also lighter than the Delica. I mean, the Delica is an extremely light knife, around 2.2 ounces. This thing, 1.8 ounces. So that's just really, really light. I mean, it's light enough that literally, I mean, people say this all the time, but I really do forget when I'm carrying this knife. I mean, I've been carrying this knife, I felt my pocket to see if I'm carrying a knife, and I didn't feel it, and I went to grab another knife. So, super, super light knife, very, very easy to carry. And, I mean, I'm just really a fan of it. You know, the looks, still, I'm not crazy about, but functionality-wise, a 1.8 ounce little everyday carry knife that cuts really well, and, I mean, that's just hard to argue with. So as we talk about the price point on here, you're looking right around $30, and I've even seen these, you know, in Walmart and, you know, some of the more kind of big box stores. Also, Amazon has it, obviously. Around 30 bucks, very affordable, and for just a good, solid little everyday carry knife, that's hard to beat. So, I'll give you a little bit of a size comparison to some other stuff, but I really recommend that you give this a look if you kind of dismissed it already. Give it a second look, because it really does give you a lot of performance for such a small package. So there's the Delica. Show you the Benchmade Mini Griptilian. These aren't necessarily, you know, competitive options. These are much more expensive knives, but just thought I'd, you know, give you a size comparison. Here's the Kershaw Cryo. This is more of a competitive option as far as price point goes. Much heavier knife though, much beefier. Here we'll take a look at the Kershaw Leek. The Leek is similarly sized, but it's a lot heavier because it's that, you know, full stainless steel body. So there you go. If you have any questions at all about this little CRKT Ripple, feel free to leave that down below in the comments. I'd be happy to answer any of your questions and discuss the knife with you. If you like what you saw in the video, I'd appreciate it if you hit the little like button and subscribe to the channel. I have more videos coming. So everyone have a nice day, and thanks for watching.